Hello again. Welcome back to the Movie Buff Reactions channel. Today I'm going to be doing another one of my rare, fresh Cinema Snob reactions, and this isn't for one where I played a part in the Patreon poll. Hasn't done one of those in a little bit, but this is for one that I've been waiting for him to review for a couple of years now, and it's just too good an opportunity to pass. This is the Cinema Snob's review of the 1997 miniseries remake of The Shining. I already did a reaction to the Nostalgia Critics review of this a few years ago with my buddy Alex Lucharv, and that was a fun experience, but I just want to see what Brad has to say about it, because this is one of the more infamous of the Stephen King adaptations, where he personally took a part in writing the script, and knowing how much King hated Stanley Kubrick's adaptation, it just makes for a lot of interesting discussion and talk. And yes, I know that this version is more loyal to the book, but as shown in various reviews, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the better movie. There are a lot of flaws, ranging from the stilted as fuck acting, particularly from one of the worst child performances you will ever see, the limitations of working on television in terms of censors and special effects, and just a whole bunch of other stuff, but I don't want to turn this into my own review. We're here to watch Brad, so without further ado, let's dive in. ABC.
Special presentation.
The new Cinema Snob theme song, apparently. Getting it on.
Folks, we're getting down to the wire on my becoming a father. Therefore, I have to squeeze in as many parody movies as I can. Get the classics in here.
Of course.
Shining. Wait, hang on. I already did that one, didn't I?
I'll get to that eventually with Alex someday.
Else I could tackle? No, did that one too. What in the hell is that? Alright, fine. Put on the three-part 1997 miniseries of The Shining. I need something on the TV while I'm building a changing table. Well, sure, I may prefer Stanley Kubrick's 1980 Shining over
as most do.
Miniseries. I do get why this was made. I can see why Stephen King doesn't care much for the 80 version, since it really is its own animal, with a very strong emphasis on mood, atmosphere, mystery, and the hotel itself, whereas you do get more character and humanity in the 1977 book. So because of his
two different versions,
the Kubrick version, King produced and wrote this 1997 version, with Mick Garris directing.
King's go-to yes man.
1994 TV adaptation of The Stand. It seemed easy enough to get Kubrick's approval, though. All King had to do was put it in writing. He wouldn't badmouth the 1980 version, aside from criticizing Nicholson's portrayal. However,
must have been hard.
Not be a fan of how Jack Torrance was portrayed in the original. There was difficulty in finding an actor to play Torrance, as many, like Gary Sinise for example, declined as they didn't want to be compared to Jack Nicholson's iconic performance.
Who would?
Daily of Wings was also considered, but wait, we should get someone else from Wings instead.
Get the other doofus.
You beautiful bastard, get up here. Actually, the great Steven Weber won the role, and it took so long to cast Jack that he was chosen 4 days before it began filming, with Rebecca De Mornay, chosen by King, already being cast as Wendy. So, on April 27th, we all sat around the TV with so much hype towards this series, as Stephen King and miniseries went hand in hand at the time, hoping at the least we'd get a haunting opening like in the 80 version. Hogwash, this is the new and improved version. Word. It's got that haunted ghost girl music in there, courtesy of Nicholas Pike, who did music for Graveyard Shift in '87. I mean, not King's Graveyard Shift, but a Graveyard Shift.
Any Graveyard Shift will do.
Part of the music.
How about this?
The background vocals done by no good bullies. Anyway, as we open with Jack getting a tour of an asylum before Michael Myers escapes again, Pat Hingle is giving Jack Torrance the best advice at handling the boiler. You make one wrong move on these dials and levers, and this whole place will fill with toxic chemicals. You don't even want to know what happened to our previous Jack. How to tell him some saucy stories. You get a good look at the peepholes around here. Real sexy like.
Not as graphic as the original.
LA Noir cutscene. Jack is totally into this story. Well, how am I supposed to
Pat
check on
Hingle's
that?
awesome.
Jesus, stop telling me about people offing themselves.
Shotgun. Both barrel roll. Pistol. Bam, bam, I'll go to life.
Reenacting hotel suicide stories is all Pat has to live for here. But asking him about ghosts is a step too far.
No ghost. Not here. Come on.
Okay, I believe you. If I
Of course, that's where he draws the limit.
Get along fine. The series was shot at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. No, what are you doing at Stanley Hotel? You're opening the floodgates for more shining conspiracy theories. This place is sweet. The hell? Why can't I ever stay here?
Croquet.
Hotels always have a nice complimentary breakfast of milk poured over a bowl of M&Ms and pancakes that are only partly cardboard. And there's no games where I stay.
It's called Denver Croquet.
Elliot fucking
Invented by a man
Gould.
named Horace Derwent.
Sounds like an asshole. Here, Stuart Ullman is played by Elliot Gould, wanting him to stay out of certain rooms. You may or may not run into the ghost of a boxing kangaroo. And if Jack is going to be the caretaker, he has to once again be told about the previous caretaker.
There was a grotesque tragedy at the Overlook. The caretaker.
Yes, I know. Did a little home dental work with a shotgun.
Yeah, Watson already told me with a steel hard-on. It was really awkward. This is getting personal.
Man,
Look at it from my standpoint, Mr. Torrance. I'm told that when you drink, you become emotionally unstable.
Well, what? Who told you that?
Yeah, good question.
The rabbit. He's one of the guests here. We got some flashbacks about his drinking days.
Had to cut him from the debating team. He took it personally.
Seems reasonable enough. Look, he had a long, hard day. Evil Robert Rustler Ghost just joined his class, and it's getting weird. But he's got everything he needs to be the best caretaker.
I'll have the big book with me and my family. They're the most important thing. Wendy, Danny.
Oh, right! Wendy and Danny, shit! I almost forgot about that. Plus, he's gonna be
Probably
running
would
the
at this
play,
length.
too. The classic Jeffrey. He may even star in it. Wendy and Danny will be fine in the Overlook Hotel. Danny is played by Cortland Meade. He was
Voice-
in Hellraiser Bloodline.
Voice of
He
Gus
was
on Recess,
fine,
if
even
I'm
he
remembering
has
right.
resting, annoying movie kid face and acting.
Yeah, that
Get
face.
the job? He and the man you talked to, they don't like each other, but he got it. Are you sure? Uh-huh.
Can we go back to Wendy and Danny having a cigarette and a sandwich and sitting quietly? Danny
No
isn't so
harm
much
doing
the
it around
main
kids back in the
toys of
day.
film. No, he's gonna be the Bob.
Yeah,
We'll have scenes of
that
playing with
creeper.
toys and making noises. Thank God, a peace and quiet, and without his kids' sitcom laugh track. She thinks back to good times, like Jack breaking his arm.
I'll fix you.
Be a good time. Good memory for a lot of parents.
Doing his impression of every stock movie or TV drunk. It was creepier and less cliched when this event was just described in the 80 version. On the plus side, he'll be less obnoxious when I get home every night. Jack
That's a
promises
good
he'll
haunting
never
image.
drink again, and and the two get the longest sleep in years without being woken up. Perhaps this is teaching me the wrong lessons. Maybe I should watch a more inspiring father-son film, like Amityville 2.
Yeah.
Since he won't be needing this anymore, don't mind if I do. Honey, no, that's my pee jar!
Hypocrite.
I was too drunk to walk to the restroom. This is when she finds out that Jack's writing is just an annoying kid making plane sounds. I'm not trying to be mean here. This is my first time seeing this all the way through since '97, and what
Why
I
is his
remember
mouth always
most
open
was
like
Danny
that?
not being as good
Seriously,
as Danny
where's
Boy,
Tony?
and things like this happening.
Danny! Hi, Doc.
Hi, Tony.
Tony was more effective when he was a finger, and not the floating ghost of a man wanting to sell him a nice set of encyclopedias.
Doug made that joke too.
And that he'll be the death of the miniseries. That's just rude. It's like it's being invaded by other 60s bullies. Will Horneff was Phillips from The Sandlot. The riveting story of Derry without the clown. Tony here warns him to stay away from bad video games playing creepy old-timey music.
Yeah.
Shit in the hotel
That effect.
swarmed by the Langoliers. Yes, please, rapture him out of the film before it plays some dialogue again.
This ain't The Stand. We're not doing Apocalypse here.
No, Dad, it's too cold to play croquet outside. Fine, dust off, don't wake Daddy. It would be in bad taste for him to give
Was that a real
Daddy
game?
a bug, but look, son, I brought you a gift. I had to beat the school valedictorian to get this. Already Weber is great casting, though, as he is believable as this regular, unassuming, normal-looking guy like Jack Torrance, who you wouldn't
Yeah,
think
but
would have
not
the
nearly
same
as good of an
genes.
actor.
He does look more like a teacher and a family man than Nicholson, so Weber does stand out amidst scenes that are repeated, scenes describing previous scenes, and really clunky exposition dialogue.
Well, you know what they say at the AA meetings, don't you? Don't thank me. Thank your higher power.
Is it going to be that weird when the ghosts show up?
Oh,
Already
fuck.
the real people
That kind of
are
sponsor.
acting off-putting. Hell, not only does the show part of the flashback again, but even repeats the clunky style of dialogue.
You know what they say in the meetings, Jack. Honesty in all our affairs.
You know what they say when you need bad dialogue to describe something. Use the phrase, you know what they say. This scene would have been...
Sometimes I've heard people say that in real life.
It was just a shot like this. Oh, a great party, isn't it? Ugh, no. Put on a tux and then we'll talk. Now we're caught up to the first act of the Kubrick version, only with jolly music that looks like they're driving back from...
Do they really fit all their luggage in that little car?
It's that classic scene where they hold up traffic and Herbie farts a bunch of oil on the windshield. Like in the 80s one too, we get the scene of him telling Danny about the Donner Party. Only here...
Yeah, it's kind of a dinner party.
The Donners had a dinner. It was a Donner dinner.
I miss Jack straight up telling
A lot
the
more
kid that they
TV
were cannibals.
sitcom-y.
Also, I miss things like this not happening.
Hey, Doc. It's dangerous.
Damn it, Breckin Meyer's ghost! I told you to leave me the hell alone! Oh no, oh, thank God. Oh man, he's fine. Well, that was a relaxing stop, aside from you almost dying, son. There's foreshadowing in this film too. This prepares you to later say, I like the hedge maze better.
Aren't they cool?
You won't be saying that when the effects come in. Until then...
The idea was good.
Laugh track.
Execution.
I used to trim this lady's topiary. In fact, I used to trim her topiary at least once a week, sometimes twice.
Did you have nice hedges, Daddy?
They have to know what this sounds like.
Sex. Everything about this feels like they made a less graphic miniseries out of House by the Cemetery. You could call it Hotel by the Cemetery, and I'd go along with it. Sorry, but the 80s Fulci version was way more atmospheric and sinister. There are personal touches here.
Well, it's Fulci.
The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, is the hotel that inspired King when he stayed in the hotel in room 217 before the hotel was closing for the season. I guess we could get another tour of the place. This tour will be better. Dicko Howard.
Melvin Van
the most
Peebles.
Badass tour yet. Then, of course, Watson has to make it weird.
Son, are you a buckaroo or a tenderfoot?
He's being creepy.
I trust him with kids more than Melvin Van
Plus,
Peebles.
there's even more familiar lines.
Mr. Howard, I'm sorry, Dick. How did you know that we call Danny Doc sometimes?
Because we communicate telepathically. Okay then, on your way.
It was semi-implied that they know that he's a sidekick in this one.
He's so good, he would have fit in just fine in the Kubrick version too. Hell, with Melvin, I 100% believe he has the same artwork Scatman Crothers had in the other one.
I believe that.
Danny have The Shining. Only Danny is the first one he's met that's annoying about it. You damn fool!
For a second, I thought he was gonna shit himself.
It's okay. If you don't get the point, we have another flashback. And that's when Jack made a fortune creating NBA Jam. I like the tour of the Overlook and the other, since it really does feel like setting up a character, and there's always some kind of uneasy feeling about it that you can't describe. Here, where most of the scenes are already too long and padded, it just feels like we're simply getting another tour to extend the runtime. It even repeats
Almost like
the
a
Donner
promo
reference.
video.
Let's take a break. They're probably going to be talking about refrigerators for a while.
Stephen King's The Shining will continue in a moment here on ABC.
Bumpers.
People.
Now, you know the winters in Vermont. Compared to Vermont, this place is the dark side of the moon, buddy.
That's why I'm from Illinois, which is totally a delicate sound of thunder, bro. Oh, is something sinister gonna happen?
Ooh.
Oh shit, they left the cameraman in there! This really is a... Oh, are they still talking about this movie?
Yeah.
As in, are they still describing The Shining and showing why Dick is banned from the local mall?
I've had some bad dreams here myself, and maybe a half a dozen times I've seen things.
If you find something under the pillow at 217, don't smoke it. That's mine. I want it when I return in the spring. He also tells him that if he gets scared, to look the other way and count to 10. I'll do the same. When I count to 10, I want this to be the It miniseries ASAP. I'll even settle on The Shining now.
Childhood
Bloody Wednesday.
favorite.
They do have some good shots here. It was shot by Shelley Johnson, DP on Captain America, The First Avenger, Greyhound, and most importantly, The Secret of the Ooze. We need the best shots for these thrills. Don't sit on Mother Abigail's ghost. Oh, that was scary enough for a commercial fade, I guess. Sure. You all haven't even left yet? You're still here? Why are we saying goodbye? Watson and Dick never left. It's spring now. Cut us a check and we'll be on our way back to Vermont.
How long into this are they?
Back inside. God damn it, we're never getting rid of this man. We need to mess with Elliot Gould's poster to make it look a little more like the devil and Max Devlin. And if that doesn't
That's
work,
mature.
Installed back in 1926.
we'll bust out the face app and use the old filter. Why is he closing his eyes and counting to 10? That wasn't scary. Here you can see Jack is already starting to crack. I'm hungry. Why are you telling me about the elevator? Can you leave so I can have dinner?
Kinda get
We
the
see
fuck
the
outta
best room
here.
in the place though, 1408. Oh wait, no, you don't want to go in that room. I'll take you to the pet cemetery room. Less sound effects. Why does he always look like a little rascal with PTSD, even if he was in the Little Rascals? Also, they forgot to close the windows
Random.
in 217. The sun is gonna melt the creepy vinyl albums. The cottage room. Perfect. That's where they'll stay. And where they'll already lose Danny. He's fine.
I can see why Doug skipped through so much.
Dad, Mom,
He'd have a long ass review too.
and you'll sleep on the top.
That's right, Doc. And I'll stay on the bottom bunk. Now, damn it, get out of here. to shine with Danny to say goodbye and give him a last piece of advice. But what do the parents
Come on,
think as they're
move your
watching
ass,
these
Melvin.
two silently stare at each other? Until next time, shitters! Now we're at October 20th, where he's finally putting up Halloween decorations. I'm telling you, honey, I'm gonna make the roof a giant floating pirate ship. They'll love it. Unfortunately,
Why would he stick his hand in there?
it's the version of The Shining where Clark Griswold is the caretaker. He'll show those damn wasps, grab the nearest chainsaw, and start swinging.
I get a
Easy
minigun.
done, though. Dad, look! People in town just leave their doors unlocked with their keys on the seat. We found this free truck. Luckily, he got all the wasps out of the nest with a bug bomb, so he can give it to Danny as a gift.
Why?
This is gonna be hilarious. Weber and DeMornay are good together in scenes like this, where they do a fine job of feeling like a couple that really is trying to start over, which is sad to see when you know what the story goes. Personally, though, I'd rather watch Jack write his play than watch these two read a children's book.
I can get it. I can.
I'm sorry, I know you can.
She has zero faith that he can. His acting style
Like
is
any good
precocious
mother.
kid who finds out heaven is for real, which would get on anyone's nerves no matter where you're staying. Hey, Doc.
That's quite a
Way
face.
to bash his skull in. Okay, fine. I've got 3.5 hours of the movie left. Dear Lord, it's so long I pray for something stupid to happen.
Danny,
Who wouldn't?
I got you an acting coach, Danny. Lock the door. We're gonna run through these lines again. Some of the things relatable about the original are here too, like getting annoyed when your concentration is broken. He looks like me writing the review for this while the twins stare at me.
Oh.
This father, forever and ever. Oh, I don't have time. Toss the toy mice amongst yourselves. He does not need annoyances like Danny locking himself in the bathroom again.
If I have to break this law, Danny, you're going to bed with a hot butt, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Jesus, Jack. Oh, this is nothing to worry about. He always looks like this. Sorry, Danny, I'm a man of my word. I have to spank you before you go to bed. Or this.
There's no imaginary pal who comes and shows you the future. Now, will you stop with that crap?
Now shove a turd.
Don't need alcohol to make the
They'll
kid
both be fine.
cry.
They just talk about their joint fear of Tony.
I sound mad because he scares me.
Sometimes he scares me too.
You're both easily scared. This is a lot of scenes of characters trying to leave, but called back into the scene. Okay, damn it, what? Can we cut to the next scene, please? Luckily, the Trazodone kicked in. He'll be out for the next day or so. I may not like this nearly as much as the Kubrick version, but it's probably the best adaptation of the Disney World Haunted Mansion ride. Sadly, it will never
I don't think any of that. I don't think such a thing will ever be made.
What do you say we bang our own heads against the toilet tonight? Oh, sorry, too soon. That sounded way more romantic in my head. Part 1 can't end yet. I promised you would get hilarious with the wasps.
Yeah.
nest.
I hate wasps, so this would be a fucking nightmare.
The only way that scene would be more hilarious is if Jack put some fine china in Danny's room and a bull ran through it. Dude, at least put on some gloves or a mask or something. Aykroyd
Yeah, that
and
makes it
Kenny
safe
dressed
now.
in plenty of layers just to get a bat. I love that this is the end of part 1, taking some Polaroids so we can sue those damn bug bomb people. I mean, it's not entirely the ending. He
Yeah,
saves it
that's
up,
your first
takes
priority.
outside, and... Well, that's gonna take an afternoon to clean up. Go play on the swings, that's not gonna mess anything up. And do the CGI bad weather when we're asleep so we don't notice. To be continued, or else. And thus ends part 1, when we all sat there in 97 like, I think I like it. There's 2 parts left. It's gonna get great. It's gonna get great. Right?
Sure it will.
No escape in 1 week on ABC.
So so that was part 1 of the Cinema Snob's review of part 1 of the Stephen King Shining Miniseries. Yeah, looks very drawn out. He seems to be giving it a fairer shot than Doug did. And I was wondering what I was doing. I was writing down some moments that stood out. I liked his jokes about understanding King's dislike, and the part where Pat Hangel's talking and he goes, "Look what happened to our other Jack." And we left the cameraman in the pantry or fridge when it closes. It was a cool thing to learn when he revealed that the cinematographer did all that other stuff like Greyhound and, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze. I did not know that. And it's interesting that he's giving fairness to the actors. I get it. Steven Weber's progression to insanity is done a lot slower than Jack Nicholson's, but I don't know, his line delivery just feels really fucking off, and as someone mentioned, the acting doesn't seem that far off from, say, a Lifetime movie, like a modern Lifetime movie. My favorite part was probably the cameo from Brad's twins. They ain't Lloyd and Chloe, but Bert and Pearl, they make for pretty good cats. And yeah, I like this. I'm curious what part 2 will be like. Probably be in a different location with a different shirt. So until then, I'll take a quick break and hope everybody's enjoying my reaction so far.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
And we're back. Welcome to part 2 of my reaction to the Cinema Snob's review of the Stephen King miniseries remake of The Shining. Just for full disclosure, this is actually the second time I've tried reacting to this particular part of the video, because the first time I was beyond fucking exhausted. It was the end of a very long day of filming, and I was just not in the best place to think and talk clearly. So, here's take 2, and my memory's a little fuzzy on the first viewing, so hopefully I'll still have some genuine reactions to give. And before I start, I just want to say on Brad Jones's latest episode of his podcast, he talked about how editing this review has become kind of difficult. He said that the particular file format of the Shining miniseries that he's using to edit the review with doesn't exactly match up or isn't exactly accepted by the editing program he uses, so it's becoming a little bit of a pain in the ass. So as one Cinema Snob fan, I just want to say we appreciate all you do for us, Brad, and without further ado, let's watch.
Welcome back, everyone. It's April 28th, 1997, where it'll get scary. I'm sure the Grady
Continuing
sisters
that
will
theme.
show up sometime. Well, what? The Grady sisters aren't even in this one? Oh, well,
yeah.
Sorry, cats.
Burr and Pearl are quite the cats.
Whoever wins, we lose. Now time to start part 2. Wait. Don't forget the opening credit.
A lot quieter than the first one.
Don't fear the Reaper. Although if it's the beginning of part 2, you're supposed to play Don't Dream It's Over. Jack's getting all settled in, and he's going to his AA meetings just in time.
Weird to think that he actually leaves the Overlook at some point.
Actor Kevin Corrigan. Hello, I'm TV host Pat Quinn. Alright, cut out those silly answers. I'm the director, Mick Garris.
Right over his fucking name.
Go over well. We're already back to the snowed-in hotel era. Wait, they're not snowed in yet. They can
really
still
taking
do
its
things
time.
like see the doctor, who I'm sure is also the sheriff, because actor Michael O'Neill plays a sheriff in about everything else.
He's been working really hard on his reading, hasn't he? Overachieving, perhaps?
Very funny, asshole. You know my son's a dumbass. The door is open.
Oh,
I
boy.
can hear you. This doctor is a marriage counselor and a child psychologist all in one. He asks about their marriage and also about
Seems a bit overstepping his
He's my son
bounds.
from the future. Wait, quiet, we're not supposed to know that yet. Dr. Exposition is the best at his job. She just summed up their whole last 5 months in one conversation. That is covered by her insurance policy, even if it's pre-existing exposition that we already knew about.
That's the series in a nutshell. Exposition of stuff we already fucking saw.
Dinner. He's gonna make the biggest steamed turkey you've ever seen. Now, where's my green bean casserole? Damn it, what did Pat Hingle tell me about this? All I remember is his story about the hot chick in the bathroom. It was really awkward. She's played by the director's wife. This feels like the kind of movie that will
give him work
pass
somehow.
the time by showing you a bunch of pictures from a memory book. It picks the most stock way to do everything, including flashback transitions. Cutting to black and white footage while In the Mood starts playing is exactly what would happen if a computer made a flashback. You know, on second thought, maybe I
AI.
did watch the beginning of Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2. Are we jumping to Kubrick's ending? When Jack went back in time on set of Going South. We're just gonna keep going, aren't we? Thank God someone was shot. And it sounds like someone's being beaten, too. An intruder is playing the opening credits from part 1.
You the guy that knocked the chairs off the tables?
I'm gonna have to ask you to clean
Totally
that up
natural.
immediately, and please exit the hotel. You are banned from the premises. There, he'll see himself out. I got more pictures and flashbacks to get to.
Feels weird to see this in The Shining.
We're watching Mission Impossible now. And now we know how the crime boss was killed before the picture book starts bleeding from Georgie Denbro's photo. Oh, are we at November 2nd
Yeah.
already?
That was a
November
good
1st
scene.
was so eventful. On the 2nd is when he makes the sweet potatoes. Anything to avoid the damn kid.
Do you want to make a snowman?
Sure. Cool. Daddy, too?
The kid's acting like he's in a chicken soup commercial that takes place on
Very,
a
whimsy.
I guess we're done here. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, this is jumping all over the place.
Snow. Then I remembered I gotta shovel the damn thing. Not sure why.
Someone who shovels his driveway every winter.
Mommy,
This would be
why
a
is the
fucking
reviewer
bitch.
Using the gruff, angry voice for Dad? Because it's more hilarious if Dad is always pissed. Now
Who
go
cut this
sleep.
kid's
It
hair?
snowed in so
I mean, I
hard
assume
the
they do, but
flashback
who
actors
thought this would be a
can't
good
get there.
look?
Danny will now be playing the wisecracking shoeshine boy. Huh, it's room 217. I should be safe. I've only seen the Kubrick one, and that was room 237. If I'm wrong, something stupid will happen. Doc, what are you doing? 217 is the evil one. Oh, thanks, James Vanderbeek. That's why there's a
I'm
sign
not sure he
that
looks
says
like
you
James
must be this
Vanderbeek,
tall
but
for a
the
jumpsuit.
90s reference is
So Danny
definitely
gets
welcome
around
with the
that by
older,
grabbing a chair.
well, Tony.
Sorry, folks, never mind. The jump scare is malfunctioned. Come back later this afternoon. Even Danny is bored. I'll fix you to lock me out of the arcade. I hope the rest of this is just him playing House of the Dead. Wait, maybe not. I've seen what happens when you put footage from House of the Dead in something. Someone better show up to tell Danny to get out of there because the parents will totally blame him for overflowing the tub.
Danny, you get out of here. Do you understand me? You can't let them touch your mind, ever.
Or you could put it like that, bad touch ghost. On the plus side,
Yep, there it is.
scares are fixed, son. That'll be
That was
3
actually
seconds.
supposed to be
I've got
scary.
a broken record on saying this, but even here in the second part, the best thing about it is Steven Weber, who does a great job of getting more sinister as it goes.
This is Mr. Ullman's office. What are you doing in Mr. Ullman's office?
However, at first I thought he was saying Mr. Omen and not Mr. Ullman. Both are wrong. This is Mr. Prophecy's office.
Not even King would be that on the nose.
When I act threatening.
What have you got behind your back?
Nothing, Daddy.
Nothing, honey. Show me.
Honey?
Where's your family sitcom laugh track now, Danny? For your punishment, you're not going on Full House like everyone would expect. No. You're gonna be a regular on Kirk.
Yeah.
This scene also goes on
Christ.
way too long.
Literally.
I'm fine with it here because of Weber.
How are we gonna make you remember?
Are you gonna hurt me, Daddy? Like before?
God damn it. Defeated by guilt trip again. The kid is a genius. What a winter so far. Dad's going crazy. The toy plane hung itself. He informs Mom that Dad is writing a book now instead of his play. We had to get that info in there somewhere. Let Danny say it.
Big difference.
Along with how Dad wants a drink.
Is your daddy drinking again?
No. But he thinks about it sometimes. He thinks, gosh, I could sure use the clothes one.
Perfect.
I'm sure his real thoughts would be more R-rated, like, I need a goddamn beer, god fuck.
You're forbidden from watching any more Super Bowl beer ads, Danny. Just remember, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get creepier. The red drum thing will be coming up.
You made you a dirty trick. Stole your mother's pocketbook.
Oh my god, this is
The
like The
fuck?
Shining, adapted by kids, reenacting it on a playground. And the parents unfortunately play along.
What's red from?
I don't know. Sounds like something a pirate might drink.
Don't tempt me. I'll swipe a little sip from that pirate's drink, too. We're now gearing up for the Christmas season. Oh, my son's gonna be a bigger nuisance, leaving his toys around.
Is that a Power Rangers action figure?
Rum on the table with no coaster. The wife will probably dress like a snow angel.
Hello.
Please.
There's a sex joke in there somewhere. Honey, please, put down Danny's rum. I got the Tangerine Dream albums all queued up, and we are going to bang in the subway room with more dirty talk.
Coming to bed? I've got something.
This scene, I believe, goes on for 12 fucking
God,
minutes.
found the TV remote? Damn it, Jack, I am not gonna run out of innuendos.
Maybe I could use some caretaking too.
Crap, all I know are jokes about hedges and drinks.
Yikes.
It's the stage now where Jack is a dry drunk, where he's not drinking, but is picking up all the same habits, like not shaving, not being able to have sex, rubbing his nose, and binge-watching The Rockford Files. This series almost seems designed
Hey, James Garner.
disheveled as Jack. You can't feel this in the review necessarily, but watching it, my god, the majority of scenes really are 3 times longer than they need to be. Whenever it looks like one
Like
will
Bo is
end,
afraid.
characters just sit down and drag it out even more. Christ, tightening it to maybe 2 parts instead of 3 would do wonders here. Now I know why he stopped writing his play. His life has turned into one, because that's what this scene feels like. It's not like there isn't important information. There just needs to be a location change or something. Now he's pitching his
Better
book about
pacing.
all the info from the previous guests. Then eventually they leave to have sex. Make it fast.
So
You've been
hot.
here several hours. It's now 7 a.m. and Danny is about to wake up. Then it's off to sweep all the snow into the little hotel built by one of the other caretakers no one likes to talk about.
Terry O'Quinn.
Oh, I wouldn't mind living in here. There's only room for me and not an annoying-ass son who doesn't use his toasters. Let's take a break. If previous scenes are any indication, it'll be on this swing for about 30 minutes.
Stephen King's The Shining will continue in a moment here on ABC.
We are back, and even the props guy is wanting the movie to speed up. Just get to the part where you chase your family with a mallet. However, we're fine waiting till later for the CGI hedge animals. Until then, the playground equipment is going so wild.
The
that
swinging
even the
could be a little
house starts
creepy.
talking to him.
Not the seesaws, though. That's just silly.
Of course, even when there isn't CGI involved with the animals, it isn't exactly scary.
The hedge monsters was a good idea, but execution
I'm
is
just saying,
where it goes a little
creepier
down.
when Wendy and Danny were just simply walking through a hedge maze. And you better celebrate the birth of our Lord, and by that I mean the birth of me. It's my birthday, December 20th. I'm finally
Yeah.
16 years old. Give me the keys, Dad. I'm going to the video store and I'm renting.
You got a cousin born on the
Don't
22nd.
leave yet, though. The cameos are here.
Don't, Jackie. Shut up that drivel.
Daddy? No, you idiot.
Oh,
I'm
God.
there. I was Lloyd Hendried in the stand. I'm calling you from the grave to say, do not let this man in. Something about the
Randall
Just
Flagg,
looks like
baby.
he's gonna get a Chucky doll for Christmas, and we don't want that running around. We'll lock the kid.
He does kind of look like Chucky.
He won't bother us in the better scenes. I do like the part with Jack talking to his dad. The dialogue is corny, but Miguel Ferrer has a great voice that makes it work.
He did.
Steven Weber is excellent at going back and forth between this dry, drunk, hallucinating breakdown and still having part of himself in there that knows something is wrong. And then this happens.
McDonald had a farm.
Is it too late to recast Danny with Isaac?
Now there's a
Now,
creepy kid.
he looks like a My Buddy doll was used to play a low-budget Pinocchio. Even with the dead woman in the tub, it was creepier when we saw her boobs. And it was creepier when the event of her attacking Danny was just described and without a jump scare.
That was
The dumbass should have moved further. I mean, who just stands there in that situation?
Danny.
Danny, you better not be where I think you are.
That's right, he's in my tiny house. Don't worry, he has an excuse. He thinks that Danny took the croquet mallet himself and smashed the radio.
Are you sure the CB's actually broken?
Ugh. Does the Pope wear a tall hat?
That comeback doesn't bode well for your writing, Jack. Now where's that little shit? Oh, good. Someone already gave me
Yeah.
medicine. I don't have to do squat. I'm gonna go get a tiny table set for the tiny house. I'll give a plus to this scene over the 80s one, in that at least she's not holding an obvious dummy for the kid.
I never noticed that, and
It's just
doesn't really stand out as much as he
Maybe
thinks
I
it
told
does.
you I didn't lay a finger on him. But again, look at the bright side. He hasn't said a word, not even one nursery rhyme, sing-along, or catchphrase.
So much for that.
Too bad he's now a damn narc. He just got scared watching The Hand That Rocks the Cradle again. He'll be fine. In the 81, it was pretty terrifying just putting yourself in the position of a parent who thinks there's a crazy lady in the hotel who attacked your son. Here, it's a whole scene of him describing the scenes we just saw, then tells them what The Shining is, and using
more and more of that shit.
vague speak to where Jack even sums it up by saying, "So what you're telling me is..." And some of the acting is just not good. I'm sorry.
Some?
And it goes on so long, they put in an establishing shot and a commercial break right in the middle
even Doug
of the
made that
same
joke.
scene where he's just continuing his long-ass story. I think Jack's really angry and frustrated because he's trying to leave, but she keeps grabbing him to pull him back in. No, damn it! If they aren't gonna trim these scenes, I'm gonna beat it out of the editing machine myself. Now it makes sense. Danny just wanted to see the room where What Lies Beneath was shot. Then when the ghost does show up, Jack gets the hell out of there. This is a TV movie. We can't have the naked, bare-assed, creepy lady walking around. He is really pissed now. Son, we need to have a talk. Do you know what would have happened if I stayed in there? I would have ended up kissing a corpse. When he
You
yells
didn't
at
do that
him,
already
it's
with De
crazy
Mornay?
because Weber is great, but with this kid, it looks like he's snapping
Ugh,
cousin
that
Oliver.
fucking
And I
face.
do love that the more Weber shouts, the more his Queen's accent comes out. You can tell this conversation about how they can't leave is serious because the commercial break doesn't interrupt it. There's other nuisances.
Unfortunately.
too. I knew it. Danny came to the snowmobile and bashed it with a mallet too. Not only that, he also included this invitation to the ballroom flashback. That doesn't go here. And this guy is even ruder than Ullman.
Sorry, Torrance. No second chances. Not for drunks that cut and run.
Damn, Slappy the dummy is a hard-ass manager. Anyway,
He does
see,
kind
what
of
did
look
I
like
tell you?
Slappy the Dummy.
He totally smashed the snowmobile, and I was not seduced into doing so by the ghost of an old-timey hotel manager. Sure, they may be stuck here, but as long as this scene lasts, by the time they finish it, the snow will start melting. We're getting close to the end. Something had better happen on the 29th.
Oh, we skipped Christmas.
Aside from me being frustrated that I already used up all my birthday gift cards to Pizza Hut. Huh, that's weird. It's usually the tennis ball that shows up in these halls. I better go see Danny. Last I
got
saw,
pajama
the
pants with
Friday
that
was
pattern.
him.
And there it is.
Sure, why not end it with the hedge monsters? I've already come this far. Too late to stop watching the series now. Don't worry, once it gets past the hedge monsters, it'll get scary. It'll get scary.
Quit living in denial, babe.
Thursday, parental discretion advised.
So that's the end of part 2 of the Shining Miniseries, reviewed by the Cinema Snob, and yeah, part 1 was just a long-ass, almost promo video for visiting that goddamn hotel. This one, yeah, there's some stuff that goes on, but it's still really dragging everything, just like dragging its ass on the carpet, and he hasn't highlighted too much of Rebecca De Mornay's awful line reading, but yeah, that goddamn kid, the faces he makes, the permanent open Napoleon Dynamite mouth, it just doesn't feel natural. It feels just stupid. I mean, I know Danny's supposed to be a weird kid, but this is not weird in a way that's creepy. And as far as jokes go, I never knew about the director's wife being the woman in the bathroom. That's an interesting fact. And yeah, Mick Garris putting his fucking cameo right under his name. Clever. Although, I have seen some directors do that kind of thing better. And, the Mission Impossible joke with the gangster scene, that was kind of funny. And, yeah, I know that they're showing the flashback of all the deaths that have happened at the Overlook, but I don't know. It just seems weird to have that kind of scene in The Shining. And I know this movie is more loyal to the book than the Kubrick version, but I want to emphasize, just because it's a loyal adaptation doesn't mean it's good. There are so many flaws. Like, I've seen people defend this just by saying it's loyal to the book. And I'm like, and that makes the dialogue and the pacing less excruciating? And yeah, there is a lot of time hopping going on here. Just like going all the way through, you're like, can we just stay put for like 5 fucking seconds? And the other jokes that really stand out to me, I think, are the part where he screams, it was her, and Brad's like, he's a damn narc. And when he points out that flashback with the guy in the tux, whatever, the suit, and he calls him Slappy the Dummy, I'm like, he does kind of look like Slappy the Dummy. But yeah, hopefully when I get to editing this, I come off more lively and focused than I did when I first tried to film this, and that's about it. Rambling asshole, out.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
And we're back. This is part 3 of the Cinema Snob's review of the 1997 Stephen King Shining miniseries, and where we last left off was the hedge monsters were finally brought to life, and he didn't get into it too much because it was just the very end of part 2, but man, they look fucking awful. And can't wait to see what he has to say, how he digs into the ending of this really drawn out miniseries, and I don't know what to say other than I'm excited to see how he concludes this, and without further ado, let's jump in.
Stephen King's The Shining concludes Thursday. Parental discretion advised.
Yeah,
If you were watching
real
this
disturbing.
in '97, you had to wait a few days from April 28th to May 1st to see the third and final part. That was plenty of time to sit with your friends and really determine whether you were liking it or not. That said, it really didn't have a steep drop-off in terms of ratings, with 19.8 million viewers for Part 1 to 18.2 million in Part 3, going from only 12 to 14 in the ratings.
Getting into
I
the
can
mallet.
understand that. It would be easy to stick around for the third part, given you know that at least crazy-ass Weber will be chasing around his family. And as far as reviews at the time went, it's kind of interesting how it almost had the opposite effect of the 1981, whereas Kubrick's Shining started out with mixed reviews and was even up for a couple of Razzies, which is insane.
Blasphemy!
But it is regarded as an iconic horror masterpiece, while the 1997 Shining did open to pretty positive reviews and got a couple of Emmy nominations. But over time, reviews slipped more into the negative, and it's certainly the 81 that is still remembered the most. About halfway through watching this again, a memory did come back, though. I was so hyped for this that I remember taping it off of television as I was watching it, thinking, oh man, this is gonna be like it. We're gonna be watching this more than once and quoting the hell out
Mixed
of it.
bag, but I'd much rather watch that.
And I'm kind of curious where that tape is now. If anything, I still need a
Probably in the
refresher.
basement.
What happened at the end of Part 2? Let's get a recap in here.
I like
Again with the singing.
That's it. We've had enough of this kid. We're coming to life. I don't care how silly this looks.
Yep.
Then we can get the title in here.
More music this time.
Hey, Part 3. I should probably get around to doing the Langoliers at some point, too.
I'd love to see that.
In the film, the hedge animals were taken out of that adaptation and replaced with the hedge maze because
Very
Kubrick
great
felt that they wouldn't
sequence.
be able to pull off the animals on film, and he was right. One of the many problems with this is not knowing when something works better on paper than it does visually. Though maybe
King
the
in a
slapstick
nutshell.
works better visually. I'm starting to think Grady's family just accidentally killed themselves. I'm gonna have to put the animals on a leash, aren't I?
Hi, Dad. Come on over. It's good packing snow.
Ugh,
And like that,
we're
they're
glad
out.
The animals are gone, but you're still too annoying to be around, Doc. She is worried the park rangers aren't gonna show up. Even the goddamn babysitter is running late.
Daddy, Daddy.
Alright, come here. If there's not more wasps, then get the hell out of here. Instead, it's a problem with the old-timey elevator. Crap, what did Melvin Van Peebles tell me about this? I was distracted and hungry. That was years ago when that scene happened. We'll just
Kinda
use
feels
the
like it.
staircase. No need for rudeness.
Take your job and stick it.
Can't say yes, can you? I think they may have
Limitations.
included one of those Hallmark kissing elevator movies in here.
What about this?
Honey, those are actually mine.
who's-
I have a thing for Grady.
Does she really think that there'd be someone
I'd rather
else
not
there
talk about
to
it
do
in front
that
of the
with?
boy. He's already acting weird.
What are you doing, Doc?
Means someone else won't bother me.
Ugh, shut up. Oh shit, Happy New Year! It's January 4th, 1998. Grab your coats. We're gonna see the new movie, Firestorm. Sure to be a January hit. And yes, Danny, you can dress like Mo Howard for no reason. This movie can save itself.
Really does with that
again.
hairstyle.
It turns out the giggling ghosts are from those two visitors from Providence in '94. The Stanley Hotel was also used in Dumb and Dumber. This
Whoa.
haircut makes sense.
That's a
now.
fact.
This is the real prequel when Harry met Lloyd. It's the closest Lloyd will have in this version, other than it all leading to an expensive version of What If It Exploded.
Rest
As
in
for
peace,
now,
my furry
Tony
buddy.
warns him that if he spends too long in a screensaver, a virus may somehow show up. No, the screensavers come into reality between the CG clock and the CG blood on the wall. The movie needs a vacation from its vacation.
CG should not be allowed on television.
Meanwhile, in 11/22/63, Danny is still obnoxious when using The Shining. Oh, sure it is, baby. Let me take a rain check, though. Good thing I got a spot.
Oh,
right
Melvin
on the
loved that
sidewalk.
scene.
There's no time to get winter clothes. The Shining will keep me warm as I rescue Danny, or at least I hope it does. If I miss this plane, maybe I can find another to catch my sweetie before she leaves for good.
Oh man, it's still here. Well, as a matter of fact, it is, but only for about another 3 seconds. And there it goes.
Do I look like I wanted a smart-ass answer to that? This will buy some time, though. Dad will be down here for a while.
I don't drink anymore. So I'm not myself when I drink.
We're over 3 hours into this mini-series, I know. But he's dry drunk enough to make a ton of drunk choices on the jukebox. I'm sure there's plenty to choose from. Never mind, that's the only old song that ever existed. But how will Danny figure out what his dad is doing? I don't know, have him envision Jack on the window or something. It's gonna get creepy. The haunted guests will show up. Unfortunately, we had to ship them all in from the fun house over at the carnival. This isn't scary.
That's really the best they could do.
But it's trying its best to be. If anything, it looks like it's Jack who needs to rescue Halloran. Oh, God damn it, Danny! Stop doing this
at
when I'm
least he's
so
finally
close
closing
to
his
getting a bronze
mouth.
number. Give us that suspense of waiting for a plane.
Better be on time.
Oh my God, schedules are working out fine. I sense a bartender is nearby, though. Is this gonna be Lloyd approved?
What is your name?
Grady, sir. Delbert Grady.
Damn it, the only drink Grady knows how to make is an Advocat he spills on my shirt. So he pours him another drink before he goes off to the ballroom. And may I suggest our finest tailor, sir? And please, no psychic kids allowed.
Where's your father?
He's drunk. You don't need to tell me. I know what he sounds like.
He uses a hell of a lot of saliva when he talks like this. I like this party so far. They finally found a second old song, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. Everyone's got an invitation here. Holy shit, the ghost of Jordy Verrill. That's why everything has this greenish tint. I scared this dumbass kid in the hallway. I think he was Spanky from our gang, not sure. And Poison Ivy slipped out of her gorilla costume and is ready to seduce our hero. Hang on, I want to make sure you
That does look like
into a
Poison
rotting
Ivy.
corpse in the tub.
Yeah, not anymore.
I can work with this. Better than some kinky shit going on around here. God, the rabbit I
Because the
talked
closer
to
we get to
is
the
same
bear
thing.
blowjob.
Wondering what
Yep.
led to this. He's gonna be here for a while. He committed enough crimes to end up in the aging punishment room from Zardoz. Just when he figures out Grady
Another
was
classic.
the previous caretaker.
You're the caretaker here. You've always been the caretaker.
Look, can we move this conversation to the bathroom? I just wet myself. Jack's toasted enough
Out
to
of
be
fear
talked
or
in
from the
anything.
booze?
Women. Can't live with them. Can't kill them.
Can't you, sir?
Touche, Grady. Fetch me my mallet. Also, the hell?
Oh, now we're getting interesting.
Getting out of here before the orgy in an inflatable pool filled with Alpo. Then he must do the walk of shame come morning, covered in ectoplasm. Don't listen to Daddy, honey. He'll be fine after his 3-hour shower. There's still problems in this third part, but not surprisingly, it is the best of the three. Hell, it'd work if it was just a one-man show of
I
Steven
bet.
Weber
There's a bit
as
more
Drunk
action
Jack
here.
Torrance. He's so believable, I'd buy it if it turned out he really did have a few drinks before rolling. And good news, the plane was indeed on time. Sweet. And he finished his crossword puzzles. Now to get there in one piece.
Please go.
Damn it, Danny, not when I'm getting roadhead. They should still get high marks from Ullman. Say what you will about the place being haunted, the ghosts do a good job of cleaning up after themselves. See, if she had that 1980s Stinger music, something freaky would have happened if she opened the door. Watch this. Okay, old tiny photos taken at the carnival, Father. Yeah, you do that while I bolt the door shut.
Makes they acknowledge he's their
Sadly,
daddy.
They put the wolf man to sleep for marking his territory on the manager's leg, but they got a nice trophy out of it. And a complimentary beverage with a complimentary note. This hotel earned its 5 stars. Damn, down to 4 stars. The hotel was so insistent on hiring a caretaker, they didn't realize they'd also need a bouncer. That's okay, I'm sure the cellar part is coming up. Do you know how much this whiskey costs? It's important to know whose fault this is.
I woke them up. It's my fault.
Yes,
Yep,
it is.
time for a beating.
When we get home, you're gonna be staying with your grandparents for a while. Please, help me drag your drunk father.
It is interesting that they
pretending
both
to
drag him
and
to
I
the
could do
pantry.
this on my own, but I want you to feel like you're helping. Hey, damn it! The cellar from the other movie was a lot more brightly lit than this. Get back in here, damn it!
If I have to get out of here on my own, and I'm gonna bash your brains in!
Just so you know, son, he's mainly talking
Still not
about you.
believable.
Let's take a break. It's also a sauna. Dad's gonna get a good sweat going.
Stephen King's The Shining will continue in a moment here on ABC.
We're back, people, and he found a light source from the crack in the wall. That's nice. Also, Jack, your turkey has been done for months. You are failing at being a caretaker and for providing a nice holiday dinner. Just because your drunken, violent husband is locked up in the cellar doesn't mean you can't do your hair, put on a nice shirt, and look beautiful. He has his pleasures
gotta
too.
look
He just
pretty.
put his dick in some peanut butter. Too goddamn chunky. Help's still coming. Nick's getting help from Bobby Terry from The Stand. He's way more helpful than this Lloyd connection to the hotel. Sam Raimi is giving him a good deal on a snowmobile while
Gotta love them
reminding him,
cameos.
You know, I did Deadly Greenery far scarier and practically too. Better hurry, Grady's gonna let him out. Grady's in a good mood. This is the way better finale he took part in, since he was the judge in the Seinfeld final episode. But oh no, fool me once. I'm not slipping on this ball a 10th time. She's gonna give them a good talking to.
Without Danny and Jack to help you, you're nothing. You're just...
Well, she's
Oh, no,
easy
now
to
even
believe.
she's talking like an old turn-of-the-century racist. Jack has escaped, and worse yet, damn it, I was about to make myself a sandwich. Now I have to resort to bologna. Also, I think the Titanic just arrived. Do their thing.
Love Ghostbusters too.
Cleaning, so she doesn't have to explain that to Mr. Ullman again. The other overlook was messier. It had an elevator that completely flooded the room with blood. In this one, you'll get some confetti in your hair, but you'll be fine. There is still the matter of the crazy grinned husband, though.
Kiss him, kiss him. That's what I've been missing.
Okay, this is the best sequence in it, and all the
Agreed.
compliments in the world go to Weber, for I'm sure how difficult the role was. It would be insanely
The sleep-deprived
easy
look
to just
helps.
accidentally be too close to, or at least reminiscent of Nicholson in the finale, but both are great in their own ways. Weber does find a way to be both creepy and makes the role his own. It's too bad that so much of this series has so many other problems. Rebecca De Mornay is good, and certainly looks more like Wendy in the book, but while Weber has the look down of a violent, drunk man who hasn't slept in months, she looks too much like she's in a movie. Like I said, she's good, but Shelley Duvall was way better in believability, and on the grounds of really going through hell acting in this.
Yep,
Maybe
she
she'll
is the
finally use
superior
ball
Wendy
to
in my
benefit her,
book.
though. She'll make his ass slip on the floor. Or that works too. There's other parts in the climax, however, that do remind you of way creepier execution in the other.
Great party, isn't it?
Who looked at this and thought, needs terrible CGI and acting
Stephen
like it's a
King
theme park
and
attraction
Mick Garris.
based on the movie? Well, maybe Dick Halloran won't be as useless this time.
I would say he was useless in the first, just unlucky.
Excellent. He's at the right Overlook Hotel. I remember watching this and wondering what they were going to do with the "Here's Johnny" line, given it was ad-libbed in the other, so I didn't think they were going to do it here, which they don't. That works. The scream helps it. I'm almost surprised they had him say anything.
Wow.
Because even saying boo, you're still thinking about "Here's Johnny." And perhaps he could do a better job at killing the family if he didn't keep getting interrupted by Captain Steubing. Using a mallet and not an axe, though, does bode well for Halloran. As funny as it was for that whole setup to just end with him getting killed.
Less chance of dying.
Was a good jump scare. He is a bit more useful in this one, but I could still do without the hedge monsters working as valet drivers. This is such a frustrating
That's the fact with
because
them.
of how well it does Jack, yet drops the ball on pacing issues and other executions. This is from the director of The Stand, and to compare it to that, The Stand had more than enough story and characters and plot lines to really make the 4-episode structure work. In this, it feels like they were obligated to make it 3 episodes. There's also more positive things about The Stand, especially the bleak world-ending sequences. Although even The Stand runs into parts where it doesn't translate well in movie form.
First half of The
It's only a few
Stand
times
is
that
great.
happens. The Shining miniseries does that times about 100. It needed a severe re-edit, but even with that, I don't know how they would fix some of the acting and bad dialogue. And as much as the last part is the best part, even it has pacing issues that slow it down.
Oh, we need to see him bop Melvin in the head.
He has spent most of the movie being pretty annoying, so it's hard to feel bad
Most?
when ghosts
I'd
keep
say
messing
all.
with him, or when something silly looking happens. Jack will be completely terrifying, and then suddenly Danny falls into the dark pit of over-explaining shit.
My daddy forgot to build the boiler.
That's right, Duncan. It's gonna blow any time now. When it does.
Thanks, Sega CD.
Yeah, really emphasizes the importance of getting out of there.
Wake up! Jack is running out of one-liners to yell at our son. When he runs out of things to say, he'll actually kill him. And no one believes Danny is tough.
You don't scare me.
The urine on the floor says
I can't tell if you're scared or not.
Wait, that's mine. Need to clean it up before Elman gets back. God damn, he is acting his ass off, and it is really sad seeing the tragedy of this character play out. But Danny is acting like he wants a Turbo Man action figure. He'll call
This
him
kid is
Jack
much
Allen
better
long
when he's in
enough
the
for him to
recording
say,
studio.
"We're all gonna laugh about this when we get back. And from now on, we're going to the Night's Inn for family vacations." Wait a minute. I hate the Night's Inn. They use their waffles as bait for their rat traps. That's it. I'm taking care of the boiler right now. I'm going to destroy all hotels that serve a complimentary breakfast. And I love that even though Halloran survives in this one...
My God, was that Jack?
He still doesn't really need to be there, except for the most important thing about the character, his snowmobile. Hurry, Jack, hurry! There's still time to save the Hindenburg! Just because this place is going to explode any minute doesn't mean you can't pack your Game Boy and Boggle for the road. There's no
Gotta
time
get
to
the
redo
essentials.
the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy scene. We gotta get out of here! Oh, and Danny uses the Shining to turn his dad good.
You can stop them, Daddy. It's up to you.
Lame. So no, there's no freezing to death in the hedge maze. They go back to the book where he sacrifices himself by blowing up the hotel, but the bad effects and bad Danny lines and this happening makes you think, you know, it's still cold outside. It's not too late to just have everyone freeze to death. It doesn't have to be a maze. But we already paid for the explosion budget. This is not going to improve Ullman's opinions on alcoholics. Wait, Mrs. Torrance, what are you going to trip on in Vermont? Take me with you. Well, that's a lot of moments of creepiness mixed in with moments of dumb. Still better than the fire
Not a bad house destruction.
Best end it here. here. We gave up on the movie's 5-star rating a long time ago, but it's still a 2.5, I guess. Oh no, nothing good is gonna come out of this, is it? Yeah, Tony is Danny, I got that. Let's end before it gets too stupid.
It's an alright twist.
Doc. Good job, Doc.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, precious. All's well that ends well.
This isn't ending well. And what does the crowd think watching this happen? You really need Spielberg to do scenes like this, or someone who won't take the source quite this literal? It's quintessential. Here's what happens when the creator has too much control over his baby. Even when Kubrick realized his own ending didn't work, he cut it out after the first release. So what we're left with as a whole is an interesting experiment. I can see why King would like this better, and it's certainly not an unnecessary remake because of how close it is to the book. There's things it does great, like really focusing on Jack's arc, as he's a very personal character to King with the struggles that Jack has. But at the end of the day,
what King character isn't a personal
metaphor
for his own?
Going to look good on camera. And most importantly, the Kubrick one is scarier. It's more disturbing, certainly more iconic. This one veers off too many times into being unintentionally funny, while in the 80 one, even the opening credit sequence is unsettling. The cinematography and music alone made you feel the terror these characters were going through. And every single performance was a home run. And don't sequel bait at the end. Yeah, sure, there's Dr. Sleep, but even that references the Kubrick one instead. But I did get all of my notes on fatherhood. Throw away all mallets in the house, and creepy old-timey photos with old music playing. Oh shit, I may have forgotten about that one. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna go check on the boiler. I'll see you next time.
We are all Siamese. Even if you do not please, do you see that thing swimming round?
Bird and Pearl are good new members of the family, but Lloyd and Chloe will always be the originals. Just fucking unbelievable that they actually nominated Kubrick's The Shining for a Razzie.
Seriously into the night.
So that was the Cinema Snob's review of The Shining Miniseries from 1997. How does it compare to the Nostalgia Critics review? I think it's pretty good. I like Doug's sketches, but the Cinema Snob with his choice of movies, and like the thing with Doug and Brad is I usually like Doug's production value a little more, but as someone who loves horror and exploitation, I just gravitate towards Brad Jones a little bit more, so hard to say. Both reviews definitely have their own high points. And before I get into what Brad did here in terms of jokes and analyzation, I just want to say, wish him the best with becoming a new dad. It's something that he's been leading into for most of the year, and it's crazy to think that the Cinema Snob's gonna be an actual father after years of perfecting it, the cat dad lifestyle. And Bert and Pearl's appearances are always, they border on disturbing but funny, just with how he has them go, "We're here, Father." And the stuff that stuck out to me the most was in terms of jokes where he does the voice of Jack saying to Danny, shut up. And when he's dancing with the poison ivy ghost and he's like, I can make this work. And Wendy saying, now I have to use baloney. And the night's in, that's where we're staying on vacation now, and the not too late to freeze anybody. As far as covering this, he is fair. Steven Weber, I don't know. He does have the look near the end of somebody who, like, as somebody who has insomnia and works pretty late with his own projects. I definitely feel he has the look of somebody who is so tired he can't even think straight. But I don't know. The way he delivers these lines, it just feels a bit too stilted to me. He's more fair with Rebecca De Mornay than the Nostalgia Critic was. I definitely feel that Shelley Duvall has the more stressed out look a lot better. Colton Reed, I think is his name, who plays Danny, he doesn't even scratch the surface of the excellent performance that Danny Lloyd, I believe, gave, and it's a shame because I know that he's the voice of Gus from Recess, the Disney cartoon, and I loved Recess as a kid, so I don't know, I guess put him in a recording booth and he actually has something to offer. I don't know if he does anything more. I think I read somewhere he might be retired, but yeah, and Melvin Van Peebles, he may be sweetback, badass, but here, he's just an ass, and his line delivery, like Steven Weber, can be a bit off, and that's the main thing that I noticed. There is a lot of bad one-liner type dialogue here. I don't know if it's intentional, but the trivia fact that I never knew that it was a very nice surprise to find out, was that this hotel was the same one used for fucking Dumb and Dumber. I never would have expected that, and yeah, the hedge monsters look fucking awful, and they never do anything with them. And this is just something, me personally, that I feel I want to mention. The croquet mallet in place of the axe. Yes, it's more accurate to the book, but it's not as scary, but the main thing that bothers me is I highly doubt someone could cause this much damage with a croquet mallet. I mean, I've never played croquet, but someone pointed out to me, if you actually tried hitting stuff that much with a croquet mallet, it would break pretty quickly.
Nobody will ever notice that. Filmmaking is not about the tiny details, it's about the big picture.
That's all I really have to say. This was a fun ride. Stephen King, yeah, the Kubrick film did not follow this book very closely, but it was fucking scary. Like, I rewatched it over, I believe, Halloween or winter last year with my grandparents, and it still holds up, and I'm really interested to see how Brad, when he eventually gets to it, how he tackles the Langoliers, because that is a very, like, it's got its problems, particularly with the effects, but it is a lot more interesting to watch, and definitely has good setup and ideas, and overall, I enjoyed this. Brad did a good job reviewing it. It was a lot of fun, made me laugh, and it's cool to see that. It's always cool to see how Brad will acknowledge what he likes genuinely in a messy ride. So, yeah. Good luck with fatherhood, and I hope you enjoyed this reaction. Before I ramble on too much longer, this is me signing out, and I'll see you again, hopefully soon.